Hello guys, my name is Armin. In today's video, I want to show you the full tutorial for Navisworks Freedom. So this is a free software. You can download it from Autodesk for free, any version of it, and you can open up NWDs. You can look at the models and you can look at the save viewpoints. I'm going to take you through all the panels and all the tools that you have in Navisworks Freedom. If you like the content, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and let's jump into the video. You can find Navisworks Freedom on the Autodesk. It's a free version you can download. I will leave a link down below so you guys can use it to get to the location and download it. When you get over here, you'll be able to see a little bit description of what's going on, and you go a little bit to the download section. You can see all the versions of the Navisworks Freedom are here for you to use. So we're going to use Navisworks Freedom 2023. It's not going to be a big difference between 2023 and 2024. We will download that. We basically go through the panels and the tabs and see how everything will look like. But first, make sure you hit the Autodesk website, download the link, follow the instruction, and get ready for the first lesson. Okay, so I downloaded Navisworks Freedom. I open it up. You guys can see here, Autodesk Navisworks Freedom 2023. So the first thing that I can see over here, we have the project, search and select, visibility, display, and tools. So I want to open up a file. So go to open, click, I select my file. If I look at the drop down here, there is like a different other file type that I have, but Navisworks Freedom only opens up NWD. A quick tip here, we have 3 different types of Navisworks file format. NWD, which is Navisworks document, is just a viewer. It contains all model geometry together, and also you can think of it as a snapshot of a current state of a model. The other format is NWF, which is the merger model. So you basically place and append all the NWDs, NWCs, DWGs, like all format. It can be inside the NWF. But the good thing about NWF is no model geometry is saved within this file format. So that makes the NWF considerably smaller in size than NWD. And the last one, it's NWC. It's a cache files. By default, when you open any CAD files, like anything, if you append a DWG, you open it up, it create a cache file in Navis. And it's basically, the good thing is NWC files are smaller than the original files. So speed up your access process. So let me just open the NWD that I have real quick. So when I see this area, this is the first thing. I want to go and look for my panels. So I need to open up all the panels to see a better understanding. First, I want to go to view. And then the first one is navigation aids. I can click on the navigation bar, and you guys can see my navigation bar starts over here. I have the walk, I have the select, and basically all the look around and everything on the panel. So it's easy. If I want them a little bit get closer, I can do the walk. I can kind of hold on just the mouse and then move forward. And if I hit control and the right mouse button, it just goes up. I can, with the roll button, zoom up and down, and I can kind of move forward, back, forward, just by using my mouse. The next one is the view cube. So you guys, if you want to look at it, you can go back to the home, you can front, back, and top. It basically kind of give you a really good access. The next one is pretty good tool that I'm using. This one is basically gives you the X, Y, and Z. So when you take measurement, you can kind of a little bit refer to this to see where you at, like which one are you on, the X-axis, Y-axis, like how you can kind of rotate the measurements to see which one is accurate. The next one is a position. It tells you the coordinates. So like that position that I am right now and looking at it, what is my Z, what is my X, and what is my Y. Right here I'll be able to see. And the next one is a grid location. So the Navis is basically extract all the grid location from the model that was appended, and I can double check here. So the next one, if you guys look, grids and levels, I can hit on show grids and you guys can see the grids showing up, and it's telling me what model is pulling that from, right? So he's pulling it from the RAC model. We have two, one of them the architectural, one of them the structural. I can double check and you can see this is a structural model on this side, and if I select that, the grids are getting selected from that. And if you have a different level, this is going to be the drop down that you're going to hit, and you can select different level to see. This one, it basically shows you where you want to see those grid lines. You want everything fixed at the bottom, right? So if I fix it at the bottom, it's going to open up the level of the model for me. So right now, if I go up, I can kind of take the grid up with myself, right? So let's say I want to go to level 1, you can see the grid comes up. I want to go to the ceiling, the grid goes up. Another version, some people wants to see at all levels at all the time. It's a kind of lot, and it's make it, and then some of them only want to see from above and bottom. You can check that, but I would recommend get it fixed, and then you can select that level as you move up from one level to another level. So the main thing that I would like guys to get from these panels, know how to turn it on and off. You know what model is coming from, and also you can select the level, like what level you want that to be shown, right? So mostly if you want to use the structure, it can do. The next one, I want to use look at the reference views. This is a very helpful tool, as I mentioned. So if I open it up, plan view opens up another plan, and it shows you where you are, so you guys can kind of see this, and that's really helpful when you are working on a very big project and you want to go from one location to another location. You just basically, you can grab the tool and just move around, and tells you exactly when you are. And also you can kind of dock it, right? And we didn't talk about the docking, but you have these arrows. When you get anything closer to the side, it basically tells you exactly where you want to dock this. So I want to, for now, just put it in this corner, and just, let's say, just make it big so I know where am I. So if I move, so the gadget moves over there, triangle shape right there, and it's kind of moving around and tells me exactly when I was before, and when I'm gonna go later, I can kind of move that one, and it's gonna move me to the different area. Other good tool that I have over here, it's basically this next box. So this one can give me the section view of where you are. So I have the 2 tab right now at the bottom, one of them plan view, one of them section view, and you guys can see like how I will be able to see all the roof, top parapet, all the levels that I have over here. And again, like the same thing, if I kind of move it, go level down, up and down. If I move that, you can see how basically going up and down, and it's gonna give me that elevation view and tell me exactly where am I. So I would recommend just use these two in conjunction with your navigation. It's going to help you a lot to see exactly where you are. And if you don't want to see this, you can kind of auto hide it. Just you pin right here, remove, and then sometimes if you want to bring it back, if you don't even like it, you can hit the X button, and then if you want it, you can kind of check here to bring it back, right? And if you have multiple basically, if you don't want to be over here, you can take it to the different area. Let's say I'm going to dock it right here, so I can see. It depends where you want to move it. So you can see one of them on top, one of them over here, and you can kind of just remove it, and it stays at the bottom. So I think these are really, really helpful for you guys to tell you where you are, where you're going. So basically gives you a little bit of an understanding of the project and how you can move from point A to point B. This one, it's pretty simple. You just click on it, you see the full screen, the split view. If you have If you want to split the view, show it on one side and the other side, you can kind of hit the vertical, or you want to look at it like look at the horizontal. So you guys can, it's a two separate view. If you want to see two different items, you'll be able to do it. If you want to go back to the original one, just check the box. I want to show you the vertical as well. So I can kind of go to this way. This one I want to go somewhere else. They're pretty much like view 1, view 2. It's different. So you'll be able to see that. The background color, it's basically this background that you can see over here. They have a few different options. Like the first one is just a plain. If you want, you can kind of change it, let's say to blue, apply, and the background is going to be blue. If you want to change it to graduate, so you say from that color to that color, apply, it looks like a better kind of, it gives you a better view of it. And then the last one is just basically just give you a horizon. So it's more for, you know, if you want to take a picture, show a better one. But to me, it just, I keep it on plain and black, because when I do the clash detections, I can see all the items and components and everything pretty easily. I can find them, because all are going to be color coded, and it's going to be easy when you have a black background to see all of those. So the last one that we want to take a look at here is the windows. So this is really important, because you need some of the items that you want to see, and the windows right here under the view tab is a location that you can turn on your selection tree, which is the one of the most important. We're going to get to it. We want to see the properties, and then a measuring tool if you want, saved viewpoint, that's really important. And then we already turned on the plan view and the section view if you want to have all of those. But to me, when I'm working in Freedom, a selection tree, properties, saved viewpoints are the most important ones that I want to work with. So this is the property panel. This is the viewpoint panel. As I mentioned, you can kind of grab this and then just dog it in a different way. It's up to you. And then the main thing, if you want to save the workplace, like if you wanted to have this, you just basically save it at the area that you want, and you can kind of come back to it anytime you want. You just go and load, and it's going to bring out all the pre-default area that you had. When you guys look at the grades and level, there is a little arrow right here. So if you click on that, it's going to take you to the option editor or the settings for Navisworks Freedom. You can also access this through the Navisworks Freedom logo on top. So I can click on it, go to option. There's like a few good items over here that I would like to go over with you guys. The first one is the general. I will leave it as the default, so I'm not changing anything under the general. But for the interface, you have the display unit. So if it's basically when you open it up, every single Navis model, it's on meters. So you can go and then let's just change it to feet and inches. You have it in degree, decimals, 3, and then also you can change the precision over here. Let's just leave it on 1/8. Sectioning, basically we're gonna go through it. It's gonna show that the section on top, what color is gonna be the outline of the sectioning. You can select any color that you like. Selection, basically leave it as default. Measuring, same thing, I will just leave as a default. I'm not changing anything over here. There's a thickness of the line, like everything is really good and working well. Snapping, make sure you check all of these boxes. This is really important. So when you kind of do the measuring, make sure you snap to the vertex, edges, to the lines. That's really important. And then the viewpoint default, this is really important. So we have saved hide required attributes. That means if you save a viewpoint and something is hidden, if you check this, it's gonna keep that view and they're gonna keep that object hidden when you click on the viewpoint. If you don't check this box, it basically shows everything in unhide mode, right? And that basically apply for changing the color, changing the transparency and everything right here. So with appearances, if you're doing the colors, you're doing the transparency, if you uncheck this one and you create a viewpoint, it basically shows the original. It doesn't show all the changes that you have done to that object when you create a viewpoint. We can go over those a little bit. I would always leave it as default here, but I fix it when I create a viewpoint because it might depends on what type of viewpoint you want to create, which one you want to show the hidden area, which one you want to show the whole object without hidden items. So I will leave it over there. We can kind of go back and take a look at it. The linear speed, sometimes it goes really fast and slow. You can come over here and adjust those numbers right there. The next one is a link. Leave it as a default. Quick properties. This is important. It's going to help you out during your coordination meeting. So if I kind of move my mouse and stays on anything, let me just cancel and show you. So if I move it, it basically tells me the item name, with a surface, the type is topo. So if I want to change that and add more info and it comes from the model, I basically come here. So the first one, let's say I want to show, I don't know, like the file name and the name and the type. You can keep adding items to this, right? So I want to show material, let's say. So if I hit OK, you guys will be able to see, like, it right now shows the material and shows the surface, and it depends on the object, right? So it goes back and forth between those properties and tells you exactly what you want to see based on the source file and what properties that source file has, and is going to apply it to all of these settings. I think that's a good one. You can, just go through a little bit more options right here. You can kind of see exactly what you want, for the properties. You can set it the way that you want. I think it's a really, really helpful tool. Displays, leave it, I think, as default. Everything is already checked. So I don't want to move like any of this. This is a few like changes over here, like the grid color if you want to change them, navigation bar if you want to go to the classic orbit, you want to change it. I would just leave everything the way that it is right now, and I don't want to move any of them. And then so this is going to be the option, and then the properties that you need to turn on to see all the properties that we talk about. It basically is going to be in home. So you see the quick properties over here. We have two tabs. So one of them is the quick properties, one of them is the property, and the quick property is going to go back to all the properties that we defined, and when you click on it, it basically shows. So if I uncheck that, when I stay on object, it doesn't show anything. So you got to make sure you have that checked, right? And it turns on. And the actual property is a window, and that's a little bit more in detail. So let's say I click on this floor, right? It basically tells me the property name, type, everything, and you can kind of go through all of these tabs and find exactly what you need. And all of these property comes from the source file. So Navisworks does not create all of this. So you got to make sure anything that comes from Revit, CAD, like any other source file that you have, when they contain any properties, they'll be able to do that. So since we are on the home page, let's just continue and finish the home tab right here. So we kind of address the quick properties under the tool. This is a timeliner playback if you want to turn it on. So when you add the schedule or any motion or sequencing that you want to show and basically link everything, this is going to be this is a way to kind of turn it on, and it's going to be right here, another panel, and you can kind of show it. We haven't created anything that's not going to show. This is hide, basically object, and it's going to bring it back right here. As you guys can see, this is required an item to stay. This is hide unselected. So this is really important most of the time. Let's say if I want to select only this wall and I only want to look at this. So if I click on this, it's only show that wall and it removes everything, right? Everything is hidden, only that wall. And then if I click, everything comes back. And this is a really easy tool, unhide all, because sometimes when you keep hiding, you forgot what you hid. You can go over here and hit unhide all and bring everything back, right? So this is a kind of helpful tool to kind of help you out. Selecting, you can use the selection box for a bunch of them, or you just kind of use just a single selection tool. And then same process, if you want to selecting multiple items, hold control, click, you'll be able to select all the items. This is basically tell you to select all, and then this invert selection is a good tool too. So it's kind of act like a hide unselected. So if I click on this one, it basically selects every single item that I didn't select at that one. And you can kind of go back and forth, right? Same selection, this is gonna find all the items that you have and has the same name. So I wanna select that one. So if I select the tree, it's gonna select this one, have the same name. Also, you can go for the same type. So these are basically, it's not the same type, but they're modeled that way. This is a good tool to kind of help. The next one is the selection tree over here, and you can access it through the view that we talked about. And this is a really, really important location to see what models have been appended, what we have, what is the sources, what the location we have, all of these layers that are modeled in the source files, all available in the selection tree for us. So selection tree, it's where you can go. It's basically your go-to location. Like on every single project, you go back and forth and just go over here, finding all the items and see what it is. It's gonna give you all the info that you need. Again, this is based on the source model, how has been modeled and how has been kind of defined all of those element and object, and Navis will kind of show you everything in layer. There's a one drop down on top that basically shows you in like a compact, make it a little bit like smaller, and then if you go to the properties, it basically shows you all the properties of all the models, right? So you can kind of go through all the items. If you want like a shape, just this is kind of show all the properties. And if you go back to the standard, is just showing you the model. This property is still available, but it's going to be under the layers. So kind of the properties, it's going to be kind of the flip side of the standard. I think these are really, really good pointers to use during your coordination, and I want to just go over these project tab at the end real quick. So if you do the drop down, we have appearances and we have transform. So you might move one object. If you hit the transform, it bring the object back to the original location. This is gonna link the object together, or you have any links from different sources. And then the appearances, if you change the color and transparency for one object, when you hit reset appearances, it takes everything to the original or native color. First, we're gonna hit review tab. The first item that we see is measurement tool. So when you click under measurement, you can see a different option: point to point, point to multiple point, area, angles. So it's gonna give you a variety of options that you can choose. So as soon as I click on the measurement, the lock is gonna get turned on, and this is basically telling me what axis you want to lock your measurement to. So for now, I'm gonna just, for the purpose of this one, just on Z, so I can show you guys what it means by that. So if I select one point and then bring it down, it basically only going towards the Z axis, so it's not gonna move anywhere. And if I click down here, it basically give me 13 feet 5 inches over here. The two options that you can see right here is the start and the end. Start is the first point, end is the second point. This one, the first box is X, Y, and Z, and this is the difference between these 2 points, and the distance from point 1 to point B is 13 feet. So this is a really great tool to give you the elevations between 2 different points, right? So if you want to give an invert, you're gonna click on the, let's say, bottom of the pipe, it's gonna give you the invert. And if you want to get the elevation between 2 points, this is a great tool to do so. The next option that you can see over here is shortest distance, and this is gonna be turned on when you select 2 objects. So I'm gonna select this object and this object over here. So the shortest distance is gonna tell me exactly what is the elevation between these two, what is the distance, what is the y, what is the z, what is the x. So this is going to be a great tool that you'll be able to quickly get the shortest distance between two objects. And if you want to get rid of basically all the measurement, you just simply hit the clear button and everything is going to go away. And this is going to be a really great tool to help you out measuring different areas. The next one right here is view comments. So when you click on view comments, there's a box shows up, and if there is any comments in Navisworks Manage created for any clash, any location, that's gonna show up in this box for you. So on the review tab, make sure you work with measurements and let me know if you have any issues in the comment section. I'll for sure go through your reviews and your comments and then provide you with a good answer on how you can use it. So the next tab that we are going to look at is a Viewpoint tab. This tab goes hand in hand with Save Viewpoints. All these viewpoints were created in Navisworks Manage and were published from NWF model to an NWD, and we cannot edit any of these viewpoints because Navisworks Freedom only opens up NWDs, as we discussed in previous videos, and you can see only document version of the models. So we won't be able to edit any of them. So all of these were created before, and this is going to be a great tool. BIM team running the NWF, creating viewpoints, adding markups, publish NWDs. NWDs get shared with the field team. Field team open it up on daily basis or weekly basis, and they can look at the most up-to-date changes. This is going to be really a great tool to communicate between field and BIM, or office and BIM, because we basically show them what's going on in the model by creating these viewpoints and associated markups. So the next panel that we're going to look at is a camera. So this one, you can see the perspective and the ortho. The only quick tip here is the ortho is on when you are on a select mode. So if I go on the walk mode and I go right here, you guys can see the ortho is not on, so it gets turned off. So what we need to do is, if you want to get an ortho when you are taking a picture, just make sure you select and then go over here, ortho, and basically you can get ortho. The most important part and inside this panel is the field of view. So the field of view is basically help you when sometimes if you have any viewpoint that is distorted, it's because of these field of view. So just simply come over here, adjust the number, any number between 80 to 90 would work. Just select those and everything should be fine. The next one, align camera, so straighten on z-axis. This is basically just a quick way to access the camera. Show tilt bar. Tilt bar is active when you are on a walk mode. So if I go to a select, that turned off, turned on, I can tilt up and down when I'm on the walk mode. Navigation panel, very important. You can see the same navigation panel basically right here. So you can see the steering wheel, you can see the pan, zoom, orbit, basically just walk, select, and you can have access to the same thing over here. Realism, basically you can turn on a third person and just give it a little bit. So if I come here, turn on the person, and then try to so you guys can see I can go through this wall right now, right? So if I go back here, turn on the collision, it's not going through the wall. So this is going to be a kind of really good tool when you want to showcase to the owner, if you have like a low pipe, basically the guy crouches over the pipe, it's a collision and gravity. It's going to be a good tool to kind of showcase the area for people. The next item that we're going to look at is render style. So this area, you have the light and the mode. So the light is going to basically change it if you go to the full light. I mostly just leave it on the headlight and no light, and the render, I leave it on shaded. So when I do the clashes and getting like a lot of models, basically just use the mode of just a shaded style. It's better, and I can see everything, and I don't have any lag. The next one is basically just right here. If you have a lot of line, like a grid line, level line coming from Revit, you can turn it off. And then if it's a text, if it's a point, you can turn all of them on and off, so you can make your model a little bit cleaner. This is just the whole object, so you got to make sure you have these on. This is basically just these 4 panels are part of the viewpoints that are really important to kind of get the rendering style and the navigation style correctly. One little thing over here, so this linear speed, it's very important, because sometimes you guys walk around in your model and it gets really fast. So if I, let's say, change this to, it's gonna be really hard, but you guys can see it's really fast and it's really hard to control. So that's because of linear speeds change. So the best way is just kind of keep it at like 40 or 45, and it's gonna be really easy for you guys. So if it's right now, you can see it's really hard for me to control. So what I do, I just go back here, change it, let's say 45, and then it's gonna go back to normal. So just make sure you kind of pay attention to the linear speed if you're facing that problem. The last item, which is the most important one on this panel, is enable sectioning. So let's click on the enable sectioning real quick, see what we have over here. So the first one is the mode. So you have a box and you have a plane. Box, basically placing your model inside the box isolated. So if you want to showcase only mechanical room, only electrical room, you can put that area into a box and save that viewpoint. So in your meeting, you can click on that area, you have everything in one box, one location, and you can take a look at it. This is going to be the scale, so you can kind of make that area smaller or bigger. It's kind of up to you how you want to have it. And then when you're done, you can kind of fit the section, and then everything is going to kind of go away. So right now I kind of got rid of everything. I only have that. So if I want to go back, you guys can see I can change, move it around, and fit it. So this is going to be for isolation. The next, it's plane. This is my favorite one. I use it a lot. And if I want to get the this actual plane that I need, I only have the top plane on, because all of these plane are the correspondent to the alignment tool. So if you turn on the first plane, it's going to be on top and bottom, front, back, left, and right. This is going to be aligned to a view. So if you are at each view, so this is my view and it's aligned to that. The next one is aligned to surface. This is the item that I'm using on daily basis, and the reason for it is really fast and easy. So any surface that you click on, it basically gives you a section for that area. So if I want to look at the cross section of the building, I kind of click on it. If I want to go real quick, let's say this area, just move over there. If I want to look at the floor plan of level 1, I just click on the floor plan of level 1 and just go up and down. And a quick note over here, you have this link section. So this means if you have 2 planes on, you can link them together. See if it works over here. So this is the top, this is the bottom, right? I'm gonna link them. So right now, if I move this, you see that the bottom it moves. If I go, it's gonna go to top. So if I bring it down, it's gonna do a cross section from the top. If I move it from the bottom, it's gonna take it from the bottom. So you can link those, any of these that you guys can turn them on and off and link them. That's gonna be a way to go linking section planes. Viewpoints can be created in Navisworks Manage with 2 different methods. The first one is a pre-recording, so when you open up the animation, the framing is gonna look like this in Navisworks Freedom. And the next one is by using viewpoints, so you can add all the viewpoints together and you can create an animation in Navisworks Manage, and you can send that to your field team to review. This is a great tool if you want to create a fly-through for your logistics and for your location, you can utilize this. You can hit the pre-recording, fly, or you can create this viewpoint, and this is how it's gonna look in Navisworks Freedom when your team open it up. On the playback panel, there's gonna be the drop down that's gonna tell you which one you want to select. So we're gonna select the pre-recording. This is the play button, but right here you have the playback time, right? So basically you can push it to the right all the way and to the left, and also you have a percentage and a time in seconds. So the percentage, if you want to see like the 50% of this video, what's going on, you can type, it shows over here, or you can put certain seconds, you'll be able to see. So right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna first start the playback time all the way to the first frame, and if this one is selected, I'm gonna hit play so you guys see how this is gonna look like when you create the animation in Manage and you send that to Navisworks Freedom. As I mentioned, very useful tool to communicate the changes, the models, site logistics, any coordination issues with your team, or even if you wanna show the owner how the final product looks like, you can use this method to create a very quick animation in Navisworks Manage and share it as an NWD, which is a documented file, to the owner or to the user so they can see what's going on. So this is how you'll be able to see it when using the pre-recorded tool. So let's just change it and go to the animation using viewpoints. So these are all separated viewpoints that I created. And if I click on each one, you know how I created, basically stop, created a viewpoint and kind of going around. But when you add all of them in the animation tab, this is how it's gonna look when you use it in Navisworks Freedom. So I'm gonna take all of these all the way back to the first frame, and then I know the viewpoint selected. I'm gonna hit play so you guys can see these are moving from one viewpoint to another viewpoint, showing which one we're on right now. So going to the third, going to the fourth one right now. So these are all the locations that I stopped, created a viewpoint, stopped, created a viewpoint, and added everything. And if you want to use this even in your interviews, in your showcasing the model, you can start at a certain point. How you can do it, you can select on this viewpoint and start from there if you want to talk about it, or you can go jump to a certain point and talk about this one. Output tab has print settings, typical printer name, paper size, and orientation. The next one would be the print preview. So it's basically show you what you're gonna print out. You can use the zoom in button. The next thing that I want to share with you is just to combine all other tabs that we learned. So if I go to the viewpoint, hit the enable sectioning, I can use the sectioning tool and create a section of the building. Also, I can go to the measurement and unlock it on Z. We did review all of those and kind of provide an elevation or a dimension for the field. So if you have a specific request to show a dimension and create a PDF from the model, this is your friend, and you can go to this tool to use it and generate your PDF. So this is basically how it's gonna look if you wanna create this and share it with the team. This is going to be a good tool to show the measurements, markup, and generate the 2Ds.